The NBA draft has just came to an end, and it was the first time they did a kind of 2-day draft in the NBA, and I say it went pretty well, but due to that, it kind of messed up my normal way of doing these videos. So in the past, when it was all in one day, I would just do winners and losers of the draft in general. But then I just made a winners losers the first round video, and if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But now we're in the situation where in the second round, I don't want to really do a winners or losers of the second round because I don't feel like a lot of people care. But I do think a lot of people would probably care about the steals of the class, in my opinion, on who I think some of the biggest steals of the second round are, and I thought I would highlight a few of those picks. So I'll be getting to all that in this video, and I have about, I think, 6 teams right now on my list that I think got very, very good players and could legitimately have very, very valuable players going forward into the future. And anytime you get a second round steal is a huge benefit to your team's future. And I just think overall, there was a lot of good talent in the second round of this class. And without further ado, without around too much, let's get right into this video. So the first player I'm going to highlight is going to be Fikowski. Now, he just got drafted to the Utah Jazz. Now, I know there's a whole bunch of drama going on about his girlfriend, and it's weird. I don't care what a grown man does with his girlfriend. It's stupid drama. But as a player, Kyle is a great center. How he didn't go in the first round absolutely baffles me. This dude is going to be a starting center in the NBA. Like, he can shoot the hell out of the ball as a 7-footer. He's a very solid rebounder. He's strong. Like, I think he could become a Jonas Valanciunas, and Jonas Valanciunas in the second round is not bad at all. And for a team in the Utah Jazz who have definitely been trying to look like they're drafting guys who can shoot and really space the floor, I think Fikowski is going to really fit with them. Now, it's going to be kind of weird with Walker Kessler as well as starting above him, and they might have to eventually do something with that. But with Kyle being their backup center probably going into next season, it should be a very, very fun team to watch because they do have a very nice young core. And in my opinion, the Utah Jazz for back-to-back years now could potentially have the best draft class out of anyone in the NBA. And the second team I'm going to pick is going to be just one pick later in the Milwaukee Bucks, who is going to be them drafting Tyler Smith at 33 overall. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks being on this list is astonishing because they're usually one of the worst drafting teams in the NBA. But this year, despite them picking AJ Johnson, who I'm not as low as most people are on, and they picked him in the first round, I definitely think they reached on him. I don't think he's going to be horrible, and maybe in a few years he could be a pretty damn good player, and if he hits, he's going to really, really hit. But the Milwaukee Bucks being able to snag Tyler Smith, another guy, I have no idea how he didn't go in the first round, even more confusingly than really Fikowski to me, honestly. Tyler Smith is like the perfect modern day player. He is 6'10". He's a freak athlete. He can guard the 1 through 4 positions. He has a solid handle, and he can shoot the hell out of the ball. I have no idea how he fell to the second round. It doesn't even make sense. Like, what 6'10" guy who's a good athlete and can play defense as well as being a good 3-point shooter falls past the first round? It never happens. He's basically, to me, a bigger Trey Murphy. And I mean, that is an excellent player to get in the second round. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks just got an absolute steal in Tyler Smith. And then the next player is going to be the Detroit Pistons, and I have it because they picked Bobby Klintman. Now, Bobby Klintman, he didn't have the best year overseas, but he definitely has tons of potential. I think he's like 6'9", 6'10", maybe 6'11", but he can really shoot the hell out of the ball, and he's a kind of a 3-level scorer, and the potential with him is just through the roof on both sides of the ball. And I just think overall, he's probably going to end up being a very good player for them, and with a team like Detroit, they need to swing for the fences in the second round, because if they can hit a home run in the second round, that could make this team really have a boost to the rebuild that they've been trying to do for a few years now. And I think Bobby Klintman is probably going to be a pretty solid player for them going forward. And now another team who had an excellent draft in the Indiana Pacers. I have them with Enrique Freeman, who they selected 50th overall. Now, Freeman, to me, he's out of Akron, and overall, I just think he's a very, very solid player. He's about 6'7". He gives you about 20 points per game over there at Akron, but on top of that, he's just a very good all-around player. At 6'7", the dude averaged 13 rebounds a game. That is absurd. And then on top of that, he can shoot the 3 fairly okay, and he looks like he's definitely worked on that. As his senior year in college, he averaged 37% from the 3-point line while being a sub 70% shooter from the free throw line, and then also being a very efficient from the field as well. And I just think overall, he's going to be a very solid two-way guy for them going forward. And overall, Enrique Freeman should make this Pacers team better, and he really fits with the culture of them as well. And I just think overall, the Pacers, to get him at 50th overall is very valuable. And now for the Golden State Warriors, who select Quenton Post at 52nd overall. Now, I think this is one of the most underrated draft picks of the entire class. The Warriors somehow had this unbelievable ability to get absolute steals at the end of the round. Last year, they got Trayce Jackson-Davis with literally the last pick in the draft. And this year, at 52nd overall, very late in the draft, they get Quenton Post, who in my opinion could have went late first round, early second easily. He's an unbelievably offensively talented 7-foot big man out of Boston College. He can shoot the three. He has a turnaround game. He has a hook shot game. He's strong. He can grab boards. Now, yes, defensively, he may struggle on the perimeter and things like that. But with the Golden State Warriors, to have a floor spacing 7-footer the way Quenton Post is probably going to be in the NBA is going to be so fun to watch. And I think he's going to fit this team so good. And then, like, in the future, they're going to have a front court of Trayce Jackson-Davis and Quenton Post, and I just think overall that is a very, very fun front court of the future, plus Brandon Podziemski going forward, and I think they have done a very good job in the past 2 drafts, despite not having much to work with, in really adding legitimate talent that's going to help them win now, and I just think overall this was a great selection from the Golden State Warriors. And now with my last steal of the draft, I have the 57th overall pick, Orid Kamchi, the second to last pick in the draft from the Toronto Raptors, and the reason I have Orid here is because I think Orid, although he is definitely a raw prospect, he's out of the NBA Africa academy thing. Now, not many players that came from there and succeeded, but Kamchi is just a little different. He's about 6'11". He can shoot the three at a fairly decent clip. He has a lot of potential. You can see he has a fairly solid handle for a normal raw guy. And I just think for the 57th overall, to get a guy who could potentially turn into a 6'11" floor spacing guy with high offensive upside, and he's already a very good defender, is an extremely good chance to take with the second to last pick in the draft. And I think the Toronto Raptors, with how bad they probably are going to be next year, I think that he is going to have a legit chance to develop there, and hopefully they really hit on this and really try to develop him, because I think if he hits and if they develop him correctly, he could be one of the biggest steals of this class. So I was a huge fan of a lot of these second round picks, and this isn't even to say that if I didn't mention a second round pick, I think there was other very solid ones. I think the Pelicans made a pretty solid one in Antonio Reeves. There's a few other solid ones as well sprinkled in there. And I think overall this draft class is actually going to end up being a lot better than a lot of people said it was going to be. And I think there's going to be a lot of sleepers. And I think for sure with Kyle Fikowski and Tyler Smith, those two guys had no business even being in the second round. And I think Quenton Post is going to be an absolute steal. And a lot of people are going to take note in a few years of how crazy it is that he went 52nd overall, and we somehow let him go to the Golden State Warriors. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be for this video. So comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think I missed any steals? Who do you think were the steals of the second round? I want your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did like the point, hit the like button and subscribe button. I mean the absolute word to me. And I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.